He's out his head. My mom, it's him and that love, the crazy kind, and he is mine.
This is not fashion. This is architecture of presence. When Kim Taehyung enters a room, the air changes. Cameras don't just flash, they surrender. Flashbulbs become votive offerings. From the front rows of Paris Fashion Week to a 5 a.m. arrival at Incheon Airport, he doesn't chase trends, he renders them obsolete. This is the story of how one quiet idol from Daegu became fashion's most coveted muse and turned clothing into legacy. There are celebrities who wear clothes, and then there are those who inhabit them so completely that the fabric seems to remember their silhouette long after they've left the room. Kim Taehyung, known to the world as V of BTS, belongs to the second category. In an industry saturated with brand ambassadors, endorsement deals, and meticulously curated Instagram aesthetics, Taehyung moves differently. He doesn't chase validation from luxury houses, they chase him. He doesn't conform to fashion's rigid expectations, he expands them. Designers who have spent decades defining their brand identity look at him and see something rare, a living embodiment of their vision. But this wasn't an accident. This wasn't the result of strategic styling teams or calculated image-making. What we're witnessing today, the Celine appointments, the Cartier campaigns, the viral Fashion Week moments, is the culmination of years of quiet artistic evolution, of an idol who understood something fundamental, that style is not what you wear, it's who you become. So how did a boy from Daegu, raised on jazz records and impressionist paintings, become one of the most influential fashion forces of his generation? More importantly, why do billions of people stop scrolling when he walks into frame? Let's break down the anatomy of an icon. Before the front row, before the ambassador titles, before the sold-out collaborations and the trending hashtags, there was the airport. For most celebrities, airport appearances are obligations, interruptions. They move through terminals like ghosts, hiding behind hoodies and baseball caps, treating the walk from curb to gate as something to endure rather than inhabit. Taehyung arrived and saw a runway. His early airport looks read like a masterclass in quiet luxury before the term became a TikTok trend. Oversized wool coats that swallowed his frame in deliberate proportions, silk shirts tucked loosely into high-waisted trousers, cardigans layered with the precision of a painter applying glazes, neutral tones, cream, taupe, charcoal, dove gray, that shouldn't command attention but somehow demanded it entirely. What made these looks revolutionary wasn't their extravagance, it was their restraint. In an era where idols often dressed to announce their presence, Taehyung dressed to suggest it. He understood something that seasoned stylists spend decades learning, that true elegance whispers, it doesn't shout. The result? Items he wore, a specific Celine jacket, a particular pair of loafers, an unassuming knit, sold out within hours. Retailers reported inventory depletion before the photos finished circulating. Fashion analysts scrambled to name this phenomenon. Fans simply called it the Taehyung effect. But here's what the sellout statistics don't capture: the emotional resonance. When Taehyung walks through an airport, slightly hunched, often carrying his own garment bag, occasionally waving shyly at cameras, he transforms a transactional space into something almost cinematic. The harsh fluorescence becomes soft focus. The chaos becomes choreography. He isn't escaping paparazzi. He's inviting us into a moving diorama. That's not styling, that's sorcery. If Taehyung's airport style is whispered poetry, his stage presence is spoken word opera. On tour, something alchemical happens. The same man who shuffles through terminals in oversized knits transforms into a different creature entirely. Silk cascades from his shoulders, brooches catch light and throw it back in fractured diamonds. Velvet absorbs shadow while his skin reflects it. He doesn't wear costumes, he wears second skins. BTS's touring wardrobe has always been meticulous, but Taehyung's stage looks occupy their own taxonomy. Where other members lean into athletic silhouettes or streetwear influences, Taehyung consistently pulls toward dramatic romanticism. Think Byron's poetry rendered in fabric. Think Caravaggio's chiaroscuro translated into lapels and drape. The deep V silk shirts became legendary not because of exposed skin, but because of what the exposure communicated. Confidence so absolute it requires no armor. The velvet blazers suggested old-world aristocracy while remaining undeniably contemporary. The flowing fabrics caught air currents like ship sails, transforming movement into visual poetry. This is the paradox of Taehyung's performance style. It appears effortless while being impossibly deliberate. Consider the accessories. Taehyung's relationship with jewelry, particularly brooches, has become one of his most distinctive signatures. In an industry where male idols typically accessorize with chains or rings, he resurrected the brooch from antiquated obscurity and made it urgent again. Each pin placement feels intentional, on lapels, near collarbones, occasionally woven into hair. These aren't decorative afterthoughts, they're emotional punctuation. And then there's what he does inside these clothes. Fashion means nothing without the body animating it. Taehyung understands that garments are scaffolding for performance, not the performance itself. His stage presence, that mercurial blend of sensuality and melancholy, activates the clothing in ways styling alone could never achieve. The silk moves because he moves. The brooch catches light because he turns. The velvet absorbs shadow because he retreats into it. This is why fashion houses covet him, not because he wears their clothing well, but because he makes their clothing mean something.